Welcome back to the series. In this one, we're going to talk about the load more pagination. And this series is about React CRUD application with a headless CMS, and the CMS would be WordPress. In the last two videos, we covered next and previous pagination and numeric pagination. And let's get started with load more. So we are loading 5 items per page. And if we hit load more, we get the second page, keep going, and in the end, page number 5, and then the load more button disappears. That's the functionality. Now that you have seen this, let's go to the code and see how it happens. All right, so we are back at the code. For this one, we need only this item, load more page. And if you are following this series, you're already familiar with these libraries I'm loading. Most important one is the WP API. This one allows us to do all sorts of data manipulation and CRUD functionalities. And this is where we instantiate it with the WP API and create a WP object. And now here are the constants in use. These are as usual, the posts, the is pending, the total pages per page, like before. Only thing I changed here is instead of current page, I named it page number, and you will see why. And this per page lets us control how many items per page we're going to be loading. For example, if I turn it 3, save it, go back, it drops to 3 items per page. And that's what it does. Okay, so let's change it back. And in here, the page number, we're actually assigning the initial page number as 2, mainly because here we used the useEffect hook again, and the entire fetch post function, we put it inside it. And in here, its sole job is to run once and load up the page number 1. And that's why we are hard coding it right here, page number 1. This is all this function will do, because with the load more, anytime we refresh, we want page number 1, and that's its job. So anytime you click on the load more button, the first time you do, you want to load page number 2. And that's why the initial variable value is page number 2. And this will get clear as we proceed. Don't worry. And once we load the first page, we use setPost to load up all the data into this post variable. And we use the setTotalPages to load up into the total pages variable. And we get that total from that fetchPost object dot underscore paging dot total pages. And if we go look in the back, anytime WP API sends us a data set, it includes underscore paging as a property. Under that, we can find the total items and the total page number. It's already calculated for us. With that, now we have our posts, now we have our total page number, and then we reset our set pending value to false so that our loading spinner stops loading. And inside this catch block, we catch any error that might come and then console log it. And in the end, we finally run this fetch post function inside this useEffect, which runs once per load. That being said, next comes the delete post, which we're not going to talk about right now. And here is all important load more posts. But before we describe this, let's go all the way to the bottom. Basically start with the return, and then we're going to keep going up, right? That will make sense. So inside the return, as usual, everything is wrapped with a page layout component. And the difference here with the other ones is that first we call the posts and loop through it and show the data, and then we load our loading spinner. because before everything would load up from the top, but in here, every time we click, look, our page gets longer. So if we keep it up top, it's not going to show up anymore. So we had to bring it down and keep it close to this button so that every time I click here, it shows up for a little bit until it disappears. And that's the reason we called it at the bottom. And here is our hero, the load more button. Now this guy is wrapped with multiple logics. First one is the total page must be greater than number 1. Because if we have only one page, we do not need the load more, right? So that's where this logic comes from. And also, we add this page number to it, because every click will be changing this page number by 1. So, because with every click, we keep changing this page number, and at one point, this page number becomes null, where there is no more page to load. And when that happens, this load more button disappears, just like here. See, is all the stuff loaded up? So the load more is gone. And that's the logic is controlling that. Now let's look, what is this onClick event doing? It is calling the handle load more function. Now let's go up and find that function. This is our man right here, which is an async function. And at the very beginning, we are loading a snapshot by calling load more posts function and passing the page number as an argument. So with this, let's go check out what this load more posts function is doing. So it gets the page number. So now you have to remember, let's go to the first one, right? This one loading up page number 1, right? So at the very beginning, our page number would be 2. So in that case, now we have 2 as a page number. As soon as we get in, we enable our loading spinner, and then immediately after, we create a request object by calling wp.posts. Now let me just show you what this is. It's going to look like gibberish. There's nothing we can actually do with it. So let's refresh, load more, and this is that object, request. It is just an object for us to use. You'll see how. So now that we have our request object, now we check for is page number greater than 1? Because page number, we're going to be changing it, right? So if it is greater than number 1, only then we're going to call this request object, pass along par page, and the par page variable is this, which is controlling how many items we're going to call par page. And then we're going to call dot page, where we are asking for the exact data of an exact page number, right? So right here, we're going to pass along that page number variable. So in this case, let's say our initial number is 2. So at this point, in this request object, we have augmented page number 2 data. We're not pulling the data yet. Once this happens, then right here, we call a constant new post. At this point, we call request.get. This is when we're fetching the page 2 data and putting into this variable with this get function. So now we have our page 2 data available, and immediately we reset our is pending variable so that our loading spinner stops. And this is the most important part of the whole project here, the return object. What we return is the page 2 data is now being returned and the next page number or new page number, right? And we are deciding this page number with this logic, making sure that the page number is smaller than total page. When that happens, we return the next page number by adding +1 to it. So let's say, so far, if we're dealing with page number 2, we're going to be returning page number 3. And if this keeps growing, when this becomes 6, this logic will no longer work, and that will nullify our page number, and thus this will become null and our load more button will disappear. So with this object being returned, this is now what we're putting inside this snapshot. And once we get our snapshot, we are now updating our posts variable with setPost. And this time what we're doing is we're spreading the original posts, which is this data right here, the page number 1 data, and we're augmenting that with the page 2 data here, which is snapshot.newPost. Because remember, this is one of the objects we got from here, from this snapshot, right? So snapshot.newPosts and old post, we augmented our post variable. Thus, this number now goes up, and once we hit this, now we have 2 page worth of data. So we hit it again. Now page number is 3, and we get 3 page worth of data right there. See, current page is now 2 and 3, and then we hit again, it is now 4, and all this data gets augmented. And right after we do that, we set the page number to snapshot.newPageNumber, and this is where that comes from. See, these numbers keeps getting bigger and bigger. And at one point, see, at this point, page number is 5, it disappears because the page number is no longer smaller than total pages. If total page is 5, our page number is 5, this logic is no longer true, thus our new page number becomes null, and once again, it reaches at this point, and our load more button disappears. If it didn't, it would keep on going and going and going. And that's all for this video. If you like this video, please smash the like button, and please don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please smash the like button and the subscribe button. This will help me bring more free contents like this to you every week. Thanks again.